Well, here we are again for just a bit of an update. Engine upgrade number 3, I suppose. As you can see, that's the new engine is in the car, in the Bluemeanie, as it's become known, not by me, but others call it that, so I'm just adopting it, I suppose. Anyway, as you all know, it's not a genuine Bluemeanie. So, the engine, I finally got the engine yesterday after some hassles on the weekend with making a mistake on clutch plate assumption and things like that. So I got the whole engine gearbox sub-assembly together yesterday and dropped into the car. I might add that it was actually a bit more difficult to do than I thought it was going to be, because I wanted to get the extractors in there loosely so that they're ready for the exhaust fabricator. Problem is, of course, there was no exhaust system to hold them in place, so dropping the whole lot in one go, one person, it wasn't a great deal of fun, but anyway, I got it done. I'm not a genius, not a motor mechanic, I should say, or a genius. It's just a hard slog, and I don't have all the greatest equipment, other than a hoist, thanks to engine hoist, thanks to Greg Black. Anyway, so as I'd mentioned previously, the engine was having VN cylinder heads fitted. So there's some slight changes in spec of the engine, but the VN cylinder heads meant new exhaust system. Also meant a change which I had not anticipated, which is the alternator previously fitted on this side of the engine no longer cleared the extractor with the alternator bracket that I had on the old engine. So what I've done is I had a VN alternator bracket. I've moved the alternator to that side of the car and the power steering to this side. Now the power steering clears the extractors, and all I've got to do is plumb it in. I've had, I guess there's a benefit of having it on this side, and that is the lines come from the steering rack down there, alongside the engine, stay on one side of the car to the pump here. All I've got to do now is finish setting it up, which includes that pulley on the power steering pump doesn't go back far enough to the crankshaft pulley. So I've got to figure out what to do there, but there's a bit of adjustment still in the power steering pump pulley, so that might take it up. On this side here, a bit of setting up to do. Have to get some rubber hose for the cooling system. So Steve's tapped into the manifold this corner and that corner just to be able to help bleeding out air bubbles. So I've got to run some rubber hose from here and that corner around to the thermostat housing inlets. That'll take care of that. Obviously still have to get the radiator and the thermo fan in there, a little bit of wiring work to tidy all that up. Get the transmission power, the power steering, cooler back in place as well, coming over to this side of the car, previously on that side. So I guess that's more or less it under the bonnet. It's everything's in situ now. On the inside of the car, the Muncie shifter has fitted in nicely in relation to where it comes out of the floor, is what I'm trying to say. A little bit further forward than the T5 shifter that was there, so the cover that goes over the hole will need some modification now to suit. What you will see is that to fit the shifter into the car, and that's at the right height now, it's not going to go up or down anymore because it is bolted up underneath, but I've had to cut a hole in the side of the tunnel to clear the shifter, and now I need to fabricate something to go over that to block it off so that any fires and oils and fluids and things don't get in the car if something goes wrong. As you can see, I've still got to put the tail shaft in. Now the tail shaft may need to be lengthened. I haven't actually laid underneath the car yet to measure that. I'm hoping it doesn't, but in all probability it will need to be done. Once I've got my bit done here with the tail shaft and the cooling system and etc under the bonnet, then the car will go on the trailer, head off to the exhaust shop to have a 3-inch exhaust system fitted, passenger side exit. I've got a new muffler for it, which I've sourced, and once the exhaust man's finished, it'll go off to SMC Automotive in Bayswater, where Steve will fire the car up to bed in the camshaft. He'll when he's done with that and happy with that, then he'll run it in a little bit, I suppose, on the dyno, and finally, when he's completely happy, he'll give us a power figure, and hopefully it's north of 240. I told him I'd like 240 kilowatts at the rear wheel, so hopefully it'll be there or thereabouts. So anyway, until next time, that'll be it.